Gentlelady from Texas, recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank you. I asked to strike the last word. I want to follow up on my friend from California, Mr. Iser, about the importance and the level of cruciality, I use that terminology, of this committee's work. It is constitutionally grounded, and there's no other committee in the House and its counterpart in the Senate that has the custodial responsibilities of the accuracy and the integrity of the Constitution. That means that we should take our work extensively and very seriously. We can begin to quote documents which include the very essence of our message. And I always like to remind you that the Constitution begins by saying, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. But I'd like to focus on the idea of establish justice. We can procedurally try to maneuver my good friend's inactions of not showing this committee respect by not appearing and responding to the subpoena. I called Chairman Jordan my good friend because we've worked together for years. But you did not show up and present yourself to this committee, whether or not it was in this session or the last session. Now, as we proceed, we will hear on the other side a constant pointing to members who did their service on the January 6th committee. They will take pot shots at Mr. Schiff. They will find dated and unheard commentary that they will utilize, which I believe will continue to diminish the importance and integrity of this particular session and constitutional responsibilities of impeachment. I, too, was going to have misgivings of the amendment that would have joined Mr. Jordan, because I am not ceding the point that Mr. Biden, Hunter Biden, should be held in contempt. And I will continue that approach through the rest of this markup. There is no evidence. How can you have evidence of contempt when you have an open and public statement that I will appear? I will appear. I will use my constitutional rights of appearing with counsel, and I will come before the committee. I was there on that day when he was available to come. How can you argue that he did not come when you made no effort to indicate that we are waiting for you in the hearing room, set up for you to come now and speak? That was not done. And if I want to go a step further, not suggesting to Mr. Biden that I would want that to be the case, but no law enforcement was sent to direct him to the Judiciary Committee room in 2141 Rayburn on the House side. Contempt. The only argument you want is to continue to give a circus-like atmosphere to this very important committee that, under the Constitution, is to be able to establish justice. Justice. There is no cause for what we're doing today. There is no basis for it. There is no evidence for it. There is no reason for it. Again, I do not believe Mr. Biden, Hunter Biden, should be held in contempt. All of the allegations that you have are simply that. Allegations of the abuse of power, the misuse of the relationship of father and son, all of that has to be proven. But you are going at it, and we will hear all of these bits and pieces and drops from the January 6th committee and so-called interactions between members on that committee that you either like or dislike, and we all will probably have a say in that. You cannot take away the sacred responsibility of the January 6th and this committee that is constitutionally grounded. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to be clear. I would not have been happy voting on that particular amendment because I think that yours should have been separate. And I do not believe that Mr. Biden, Hunter Biden, should be held in contempt at all, because I was there with you, Mr. Chairman, on that day, and you did not seem to make any effort to make sure that Mr. Biden knew he was welcomed in that committee at that time for us to hear him in an open setting. With that, I hope that we can establish justice in this committee for once and for all, and I yield back.
Gentle yields back. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Bishop, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,